the cold, and welcome to our candidate forum. Tonight our forum is for Precinct 1 for Constable and our county commissioners. My name is Elizabeth Newens. I'm the Executive Director at the Quitman Chamber of Commerce, and I want to welcome you all here tonight. It's my honor to introduce to you Mr. Scott Dunson. Scott is the Vice President at the Quitman Chamber, and Scott wrote me his little bio here in his own handwriting. So Scott is a retired executive from a large aerospace company in the DFW Metroplex, where he worked for 32 years. He's been visiting the Quitman area for 30 years before moving here permanently at the end of 2015 with his wife of 30 years, Carolyn. He has one son who works at Brookshire's and is also his next door neighbor. He's currently the manager at Quitman True Value.
I'd like to go ahead right now and introduce our timekeeper, Mr. Morgan Whitley. The invocation today is going to be given by Mike Mitkiff. He's the pastor of Faith Baptist Church in Quitman. Prior to coming here in 2016, he served for 13 years at East Texas Baptist University in Marshall as Director of Public Relations. He has served in ministry for over 28 years, and his wife of 33 years, Mary Ann, teaches 9th grade English at Quitman High School. So thank you, sir, for your time. And then the pledge will be led by Mr. Ross Gagne. He's an 11-year-old fifth grader who has been part of the GT program and competes in multiple UIL competitions. He has been involved in the Boy Scouts since 2015 in first grade as a Tiger Cub, and he has advanced to Arrow of Light, and he will graduate in May of this year to the Boy Scouts.
Join me in prayer, please. Heavenly Father, we come before you, and we thank you for the eternal life that you give us through your Son, Jesus. And Father God, we ask for your hands of comfort to the Blaylock family, Lord. We just ask you to continue to help this family during this tragic loss of Brooke. And Father God, we thank you for allowing us to be here tonight, to worship you because you have provided freedom for us in our country through our founding fathers. And we thank you for that freedom tonight to listen to the candidates and what they stand for. And thank you, Lord, that we have the right to vote. And God, we ask that you allow us to have open ears to what is said tonight, to help us to make a discernment of who to vote for. And God, thank you. We live in the greatest county in Texas called Wood. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Under the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
I'd like to introduce our candidates, Mr. Virgil Holland, Mr. Gilbreth, and Mr. J.R. Douglas. And we're constables. We have Mr. Steve Bowser and Billy Hill. We are going to keep the same format as last year. You will get 2 minutes for opening statement. There will be 5 questions each. You will draw at random from a hat. And you'll have 2 minutes to answer, and then you'll have 2 minutes closing. So we solicited questions, we did some research. We tried to keep them as non-contentious as possible because some of these have gotten really out of hand. So I would ask everybody, please be respectful. You know, we can agree to disagree, but we're all still part of the same community. So let's just with that. Now, we're going to draw names out of a hat. Now this will be a real hat. My son let me borrow this as a beaver felt top hat. When this company was in business, so this hat is from 114 to 130 years old. Wow. So And he is going to be nice enough to take it up there and let you draw the names. So now we'll start with the constables. So, Mr. Bowser, if you'd like to go first with your opening statement.
I think you can probably hear me anyway. I'm Constable Steve Bowser. I've been in office for the last 19 years. I'm in my 20th year. I've got a Master's Peace Officer's license. I've been 31 years in law enforcement. When I started the constable's office 20 years ago, we were making $900 a year. We worked it to where the constable's offices were a viable office to go out and to make sure that we were doing things that the county needed. I'm on the National Board of Constables and Marshals. That includes city marshals, U.S. marshals, and precinct marshals for different types of things. I'm on the board at the East Texas Justice of the Peace and Constables Association. I'm the immediate past president of that association. I'm a TCOL certified instructor in firearms. I specialize in court security and have taught court security on the national level the whole way down to the local level. And I'm proud to be part of this community and to be able to serve you. And I thank you for what y'all do for us.
I'm also not going to use a microphone. I think you can hear me. My name is Billy Hill. I am a Alba resident of the Alba Golden area, have been for 30 years. That's how long I've been alive. My family, I am the 5th generation coming from the Alba Golden area. My 7-year-old son will be the 6th generation. I graduated from Alba Golden High School in 2008. A young man not really knowing what I wanted to do right out of life, so majority of my friends and family were in the oil field industry, and that's where I went. To New Mexico, worked there for 4 years. Came back and was in Walmart, had 2 shopping buggies full of food. The company called me and said, "Hey, we've got to lay you off." I said, "Okay, let's put some of the stuff back." I was very lucky that same week I started with the Precinct 2 Road and Bridge crew in Mineola, and I worked there for 2 years. Me and my wife were at home watching television one day, and I can't remember if it was a cop show or the show Cops came on, and I looked at my wife and I told her, I said, "That's my dream job. That's one thing I've always wanted to do, is serve my community in law enforcement." She said, "Chase your dreams and never give up." 1 month later, I was enrolled into the East Texas Police Academy, where I graduated the night academy here put on by Kelly Cole here in Quitman. During my academy, I had the opportunity to start in the Wood County Jail. I worked there for 9 months as a jailer, doing everything from fingerprinting to housing inmates and taking care of their needs. When Mr. Caslow took office in 2017, I was honored to be a deputy. I took an oath I take very serious to this community. When I started the police academy, I didn't want to go to Greenville, Dallas. We had multiple recruiters come down to the academy wanting us to come serve them. My family, my home is Wood County, and that is where I want to serve, and I'm asking for y'all's vote. It changes what you're looking for, it changes what I bring to the table. Thank you.
And those 2 fine openings, some of these questions may be redundant, so please bear with us.
While I'm timing, I will raise my hand when you have 15 seconds left, and then the timer will go. So you know you'll be getting close to the end.
You can finish your sentence, but not necessarily the thought.
It's hard to buzz it somewhere.
Yeah.
We're just picking one at a time?
Yes.
Okay. question is, if elected, what would my priorities be? First off, I want to start off saying that the priorities of a constable is to serve civil process and bailiff JP court. But that has been since changed to way more proactive policing. With this day and time, if you have taken an oath to your community to serve them, that's what needs to happen. You wear a badge. If you're a constable, yes, you do civil process, but you can also do criminal law, which requires drug intervention, patrol. I mean, how nice would it be to, if you're going out of town, call your local constable and say, hey, I'm going out of town. Could you patrol my house? I'm going to be away. Maybe it helps, maybe it doesn't. But proactive policing is what I bring to the table, and that's my top priority as constable, is to be out and be seen by you. As law enforcement officers, we don't meet people on good days normally. It's really bad days. So I feel that you should be in a personal, knowing relationship with your law enforcement and your constable's office, to where when we meet on that bad day, you at least know who I am, and that will be some comfort to you. So I bring in my number one priority when I come, if elected as constable, is to get to know my citizens in the community and be proactive for your needs.
This is a pretty good one for me. What is your definition of a county constable, and what are their duties? The government code lays out very specifically what the constable's duties are. The constable's duties first are to serve the JP court and to bailiff it. Their duties also are to serve any other court that asks you to bailiff for them, which I do quite a bit of bailiffing for the district court, CPS court, AG court. The other duties are to any civil process that is directed to you. You are to serve that. One of the things that I provide also, in civil law, there is a provision for a civil standby. It has very specific guidelines. I'm the only law enforcement officer in the county that does civil standby for people, especially family violence cases, where I can go out and I can assist that person that was violated and was the victim, help them get what they need to go back and become functional again. So that's one of the other things that the constable's office can do, and we're very active in that.
So don't hold me to my reading skills. The question is, what in your training or background will help you with the cultural diversity that you may face on a day-to-day basis? Cultural diversity is something. I now work for the Wood County Sheriff's Office. Like I said, I started there in 2017, worked a year and a half as a patrol deputy. Cultural diversity is something we're trained on, and as a basic peace officer, we train annually on. And going back to the cultural diversity, I really think that in dealing with the public in general will help with all of your needs as far as cultural diversity, interacting with everybody, and treating everybody with equality.
What are the views of the current status of Precinct 1 for the constable's position. You're the one that has the view. Do you see me, or do you see constables out there? Do you see us doing the things that we're required to do by law? Those that are out very early in the morning, they know they see me out there. Some of the things that we do are very sophisticated in how you have to deal with the law. You have to be able to talk with your attorneys, work your writs of execution. Evictions are some of the most serious things that we deal with. We've had several constables killed during evictions. In the 20 years that I've served, only one time I really had to call some backup because there was somebody that wasn't going to leave their house and they were secured in the house. I knew they had weapons in there also. So you have to be prepared for that type of thing all of the time. Legal questions that come in constantly, civil questions. These are things that attorneys will contact me on and say, what's your procedure in doing this? I'm well acquainted with all the procedures of the constable's office and teach it. Civil process. Have taught a number of constables within the East Texas area.
The question is, what is your relevant experience and why do you think it will help you with this position? I do not have experience in civil process. I have been on a patrol deputy side of it. And when I tell you that the civil side of being a constable and bailiff in JP court and serving my civil papers will be taken care of, it will. But what I'm bringing to the table is a proactive constable's office. That is getting out there and not only serving civil papers and bailiff in court, but protecting your belongings and your loved ones, taking drug dealers off the street. It can be done. If you look at Smith County, the constable's office is here. In other counties, they're very proactive. You can't be proactive certain times of the day. The oath we took as law enforcement officers doesn't apply to a timeline. You're on call 24/7. Our families knew that when we became police officers. That's something that comes along with the job. And we understand that. I'm here to serve you. If that means waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning and coming to your house because you think someone's breaking in, that's what I'm going to do. We need to work alongside of all of Wood County's law enforcement agencies, and that is going back to what I said earlier. If you wear a badge and took that oath in this day and time, you have to work together and you have to be proactive. If you're not, that's when the citizens pay for your lack of that oath. And that's going back to the question. I'll get off on tangents, you gotta watch me. Like I say, my experience in the civil side of this has not come yet. That is something I will obtain and I will work hard. I have been with the Wood County Sheriff's Office for approximately 4 years. A year and a half of that was on patrol. Almost 2 years of that as an investigator. I moved up really fast. I didn't know any of my bosses. I didn't have a hook. I didn't have friends. I worked to get where I'm at, and I will work for you.
They're getting longer. How would you balance the traditional constable duties and more progressive law enforcement approach taken by the constable's office? the Smith County, which he mentioned earlier, they have, each one of the constables has 4 to 5 deputies apiece. We're a one-man office. We do everything ourselves. The amount of time that it takes to do our racial profiling, all of these things that have to be filed with the state in order to be in compliance. I've done this for 20 years, taking care of all the paperwork that the sheriff's office has a staff for to take care of. They have a civil deputy and they have a clerk to take care of everything. We do that all ourselves. It's very nice to have a deputy to help you do some things at times, but when you're a one-man office, you know, so far this week I've already got 52 hours in. So it's you as constable, you get a lot of calls, especially when you've been around as long as I have, and people get to know you, and they'll call you. They'll say, "What can I do about this? We had a dog situation up in Yannis. We'll be dealing with that." We go out, help the other agencies, assist them. That's something that's being done now, and we're going to continue to do that.
I got a short through one. The question is, if elected, do you have a 4-year plan by year or goals established? Yes, I have a lot of ideas and plans I would like to bring to Precinct 1. One of those plans and goals is I will be seeking to obtain a K-9 unit and add it to the constable position in Precinct 1. You hear everybody wanting K-9s, and if you've been to prior forums, you've heard the sheriff and the sheriff candidates. K-9s take a lot of time away from officers. They're really a lot of training, and you're on call constantly, so that takes away. With the constable's office, no shorting that, it will be extra work. I'm willing to put in that work to give that service to the community and to the citizens of Wood County included in that. I also want to work greatly with our schools and churches. Growing up and graduating from Alba Golden, they put on a collision class there right before prom, showing kids that the car wrecks you could have if you drink and drive. Me and another investigator were talking about the name of that the other day. I can't remember. I want to bring that back, as well as active shooter training for our school teachers, maybe in the off season. Also bring that to our churches. I've been approached by some pastors, and they've asked me about those things. That's something I want to work towards and bring to our community, so that you have reassurance in your law enforcement and in yourselves that we can get through anything as a community. And those are just some of the goals and ideas I have. I'm not going to go into them. I'll run out of time. I can stand up here and talk about them all day. But the great plans that everyone has, that all the forums are all great. I'm standing here today telling you I will work the hardest I can to make those come true for Precinct 1 and Wood County citizens.
I went down to the long one. Do I have a plan to meet state mandated law enforcement education? I have a Master's Peace Officer's license. I teach the mandated classes. So yes, I've got a good plan. And I'll continue on doing that. And as for canines and whatnot, I had a canine for a while. Somebody poisoned my dog because I had it, because we were making a number of drug arrests whenever I first came in office. That has slowed down because there have been other priorities that the county has needed. I think that the constable's office is a good office to fulfill the needs of the county so that it doesn't incur extra cost for the sheriff's office, for other offices. It takes a lot of time. People don't realize that Precinct 1 has 50% of the voting boxes in the county are located in Precinct 1. So we cover a lot of territory, and it takes a lot of time just to get your mandated stuff done. So.
Another short one. The question is, what changes would you make if elected and why? Really, I wouldn't make any changes. I have nothing to say bad about my incumbent. I think he's done a great job. Is there needs that Precinct 1 needs? Yes. We need more proactive policing. We need to be out in the community, meeting with you, speaking with you on your needs. You have something that you don't want stolen, and you're going to be gone. Call me. Hey, I'm out of town such and such date, such and such time. I will come by, check your house, and leave you a hanger on your door and let you know I did that. If you've got a drug problem in your area, call me, let me know. The constable's office is your police. I'm running for your police. Your needs are what I'm working for. The sheriff's office, the city department, sheriff's office answers to the entire county. The police departments answer to those cities. Constable's office answers to you. This is your police. This is your election. If you like what this man offers, that's fine. I ask you to vote for him. If you want proactive policing and I'm what you're looking for, please vote for me.
That's another long one.
Hey.
I think the deck was stacked. What type of relationship do you plan or have forged with local law enforcement? A lot of the night patrol guys, even day patrol, I have a very good relationship with them. They tell me all the time, "Where'd you come from?" Because I was out there. I hear the call, I go out and I back them up, make sure that they're all safe. Because if law enforcement's safe, then the whole county's going to be safe. There have been a lot of officers injured or killed on duty in the past few years. And one of the things that I like to do is be out there and support the other guys and women that are working the streets. That'd be adequate.
Okay, now we'll go with the closing remarks, and Silvia, you'll go first.
In closing, I want to thank everyone for coming out here. It really shows that you care about your precinct and that you understand the importance of this election. Like I've said before, I have nothing bad to say against my incumbent. If you really want what he offers, that's great, and that's where your vote should go. I'm bringing change. Like I said, I want to add a K-9 unit to the precinct, Constable Precinct 1 office. I understand that's more work. I also want to be involved in our churches and our schools. I really and truly believe our churches and our schools are our future. I want to work with our youth. I don't know if you've seen the police academy intake on students is very low nowadays. Cops are not really liked. I want to change that. I want to get back to our youth make them feel comfortable around law enforcement, see what we do and why we do it. I also want to be that way with the schools and churches. They see us, I want them to see a friendly face they know. Like I say, we meet people on really bad days. And I want that to be some comfort that you can look up and see me and know that you know me. Maybe that will be some piece of comfort. I have a lot of ideas. 2 minutes isn't going to do it. I can stand up here and talk to you all day, I promise. Ask my wife. She says I can talk to that wall. If you would like, I have a Facebook page. It's Billy Hill for Constable Precinct 1. I have some signs and business cards out back here with my phone number on it. Feel free to give me a call. If I don't answer, call me back, because like I say, I work, or leave me a message. I work at the Sheriff's Office. I work a lot. Remember, get out and vote. It's very important, very important. You all being here tonight shows that y'all care, and I appreciate that. And remember, I'm number 2 on your ballot and number 1 choice for Precinct 1.
I too appreciate y'all being out. I appreciate the interest. I appreciate Billy having the desire to run for this office. It's always good to have good competition, people that appreciate each other, and I do. I appreciate Billy very much. I know that he has a desire. My desire is to complete what I started out in fulfilling the offices of the constable in this county. For years, we had constables that weren't really active. Since I've been in office, we have changed the whole perspective of what constables do, what they can do. We serve process in our own county. We can serve it in any adjacent county to us. We had that limited because we could have went anywhere in the state to serve process. And if it's directed to you, you have to serve it. I'd like to see 4 constables' offices that are all working together as a cohesive unit in order to accomplish a lot for the county. And we're your police. That's the people's police is the constable's office. So we're here for you. Thank you.
Okay, that concludes the constables. Now, before we begin the county commissioners, does anybody want to take a quick break? Okay. And we'll go ahead and start with the county commissioner with the 2-minute opening. Mr. Holland?
My name is Virgil Holland, Virgil Junior Holland. It's truly an honor to serve as your Wood County Commissioner for Precinct 1. I'm excited to announce I'm running for re-election for my 3rd term. My wife's name is Debbie. We've been married 47 years. We have 3 children and 9 grandchildren. Debbie's been a teacher here in Quitman for 27 years. And now I was in dairy business for 17 years. And later went to work for Lawrence Propane for 18 years. We have accomplished much during these past 7 years. In my first term, I've accomplished 49 miles of road. In my 2nd term so far, we have accomplished 61.4 miles of road. I have 1 more year left in my term and a project to complete another 20 miles. This will be a total of 80.4 miles of road in my 2nd term for a grand total of 130 miles. In my 1st term, with the new modern equipment I have been able to purchase, we've been able to accomplish many more roads with less oil and not having as many breakdowns as constant breakdowns has also been a contributing factor to what we have been able to accomplish. With the precinct as large as Precinct 1, we can never stop. There isn't a covered season or a road season. We must work year-round to keep our precinct maintained. I will continue to be a working commissioner who works with the law enforcement, fire departments, and first responders and keep all services available in the area. I'm proud of my crew and the pride they take in a job well done for the response to time and emergencies.
Mr. Douglas?
My name's J.R. Douglas, and I've been married to my wife Caroline for 13 years. I have 2 wonderful daughters from a previous marriage and have 6 wonderful grandchildren. Probably like some of you, I was born on a farm in a small rural town in Louisiana. My first job was a summer in high school digging ditches on an oil rig. After serving in the United States Marine Corps, I went back into the oil field, and I finished my career managing a division of one of the largest oil field service companies. And my wife and I came back to the States. We didn't have a place to live. So we bought a motorhome, and we drove around for several years, Florida all the way to Alaska and back. And we found Wood County, and this is where we wanted to live. I built my house here. Now I built my brother-in-law and sister-in-law house here. What I want to do now is to bring my knowledge and my experience to make Wood County a better place. Now, my platform has always been about let's find solutions for better roads, schools, jobs, cleaner county, cell phones at work. But to do this, you have to take several steps. You have to have a vision. You have to put a plan together. You have to put a team together. You have to have community commitment. And you have to have someone to implement this. And with my experience, I think I am qualified to be your county commissioner. Thank
Mr. Gilbert?
I'm Chief Gilbert. I've lived here in Wood County my entire life, except for 2 years when I was serving on SAM. My wife and I have been married for 51 years, Sharon. I got 3 kids and 7 grandkids. I graduated in one of the most important things I think is we are members of the Ennis Baptist Church. I graduated from high school in 1963. After graduating, Uncle Sam called me and said, "We need you," so I had to go help Uncle Sam for 2 years. I was told that the letter said that your friends and neighbors have selected you. I never found anybody want to own up to that. Anyway, I spent 1 year in Vietnam, and when I got out of the Army, I had an honorable discharge. And I'm proud to serve my country, and I get a little emotional on the part. But anyway, when I got out of the Army, I went to work for Amco Production. I worked for 30 years. I was under maintenance most of the time, and I was maintenance foreman quite a bit of time. I had several people working under me. I got along with them good, and we had a good working relationship. When I retired from Amco, I started my own construction company. I worked it for 10 years, and then I decided I wanted to run for commissioner. So I run, and I was in the office for 4 years. During that time, I had a lot to learn. Everybody thought, well, it's pretty easy to go in now. You don't do it well, but it's not all that simple. Not, you got lots of costs and you need lots of help. Already?
I will raise my hand when you have 15 seconds.
But we're looking out there.
I'll just let it be wrong.
What one part of the county government would you receive more attention if you were re-elected, were elected? I don't show, I work at all the precincts. I don't show attention in just one precinct. I've said in my first term when I ran that I would give everybody a piece of the pie, and that's what I've done, and that's what I'll continue to do, and I think that's the way it should be. Thank you.
If elected, do you have a 4-year plan by year or goals established? Well, I think right now, as never been a county commissioner, I do have plans, and I do want to get them implemented. And like I said, my plans are to try to find a solution to better jobs, better roads, better schools, cleaner environment, cell phones at work. Now, my experience and my background in project management, budgeting, contracts, establishes the goals that I want to do for Wood County. Thank you.
The question is, should any part of the county budget be shielded from cuts? And if so, which area? That's a hard question. I don't think any part of it should be shielded. I think your budget is what you go by. And budget is, that sets up what you can do with the expenses and everything. You can take, if you run a little short on one, you can borrow from the other. But as far as shielding one particular budget, they're all important, and I just really don't see shielding it from cuts. That's what it's laid out for, and that's what you need to do.
What should the county commissioner's office be doing to encourage building and development? And what would be your priority? Well, you may not, a lot of you probably already know, we're building a building right now. We just got through building a building right over here, a new election office and IT department. And we're also fixing to start building a tax office, so, we are doing building. And I encourage more building in the county. Even out, this county is growing. It's growing every day. You can walk down the road and see all the cars coming up and down. And more people are moving in. And I think this county is gonna grow, and it's gonna grow quick. So we have to be ready for that. And as a commissioner, I stand behind any economic development that we have, and I see it coming real quick. Thank you.
Do you have a plan for balancing the county's growth forecast versus headcount budget? Without any data, it's kind of hard for me to answer that question, okay? Because I don't know the last growth. All I can tell you is what's happened in the community that I live in. In the last 6 years, we built 10 houses there. That's a lot of growth. That's 2-car garages. That's another 20 cars on our roads. So, like, it's going to happen. Change is going to come. And I can't stop it, and you can't stop it. But if we're not prepared for it, it will have a negative effect on our county.
me. Do you plan to promote any changes to existing taxes? If so, why? One of the jobs of commissioner is taxes, and when I was in office before, I always tried to keep them low as possible. Matter of fact, one year that I even cut my budget so we wouldn't have to raise the taxes. That's about all I can say for the existing taxes. I mean, try to keep them as low as possible, but we still want to have enough money to build the roads and repair our roads and take care of ditches, whatever. That's about all the control you're gonna have over the taxes.
What element of the county's government is most effective and why? Most of your element in the county, your county government is your courthouse. Everything we do has to go through the courthouse. And that's where we do our budgeting at. That's where most of everything comes through the courthouse. And like I say, your infrastructure, that is another thing that's really important to people. And that's because, you're driving up down that road, you want a nice smooth road, you want clean ditches, and that's what we try to give you. And we work on a short budget there, and maybe people think we have a lot of money, but we don't. But we try to stretch that budget as far as we can, and we do whatever we can to make it every year from budget to budget. So I think that's why.
I got the simplest one. What single word should come to mind when seeing your name on the ballot, and why? And the one single word that I would say about my name being on the ballot is that it represents change. Because, like I said, change is coming to Wood County. Just like Berkeley said, there's more cars on this road, there's more things. But to have my name on that ballot, that is something that's in my heart. And I want to be number one on that ballot, which I am.
What are your views on the current status of the Precinct 1 County Commissioner's office? Well, I hate to get up here and say I'm a competitor. I feel like I can do a better job. I've got experience working with people. I've worked with 18 years on the school board. I'm presently on the advisory board of the Yanis Fire Department. I am a board director for the Lake Fork Water and board director for the Yanis Federal Credit Union. So I've got plenty of experiences with dealing with people. And your commissioner job is not just the road. You're going to have to deal with other people, local people. When I was in before, I worked real well with the sheriff's department and other county commissioners. I never had no trouble at all. And when I was in office, if my crew was out at night, I was out there with them. I was out there leading them, showing them that I was backing them all the way. There's many of them. We spent all night long out cutting trees off the road. And a lot of people said, well, that's not your job. Well, as a leader, I feel it is.
What are your thoughts on the unit road system, or unified road system, or traditional standalone precinct, road maintenance? Well, my thoughts on, they tried to get a unit road system here before, and this county will not, you can't, this county will not support a unit road system. We have 10 guys right now, and we can't, I mean, it's all we can do to keep up with precinct 1. And you take those 10 guys and you try to run a whole county with them, it won't work. You know, you have so many miles of road out there, and so many ditches to shred, and we have a hard time just getting around our precinct shredding every year. But we end up with about 500 miles of road ditches to shred, and you pull 2 or 3 guys, or the whole crew would be out shredding, and who would be fixing your roads? So, and they've tried to pass this before over the years, and it failed 3-1. So I'm just telling you, it will not work in this county. Thank you.
Oh, you cheated on me. Here's my glasses. I don't think this is actually a question. This is for
It's not.
everyone.
That was solicited, yes, for each of you.
Oh, so we all have to answer
Yes.
this one. Well, hold on a minute. Cheated out.
That was a request from the audience.
For all county commissioner candidates. Recently, the county commissioners adopted the county department organizational chart, putting departments under the commissioners. With many departments being out of compliance with financial and legal requirements, what management experience and qualifications do you have to assist and ensure these departments are being brought up to compliance? Well, you know, for all the companies that I have worked for, we had procedures for every position in our company. And we had a human resources department who made sure that we were in compliance with everything. So to do that, we need to have the human resources department involved, making sure that every branch of our county government has everything they need to bring them up to the standards that are required by the state of Texas.
Okay, the county, the commissioner's court is under, you know, we have a county judge, and we try to keep, the county cannot be run by one person. It has to be run by the court as a whole. And these positions were moved, they've always been under the commissioner's court, and that's all we did was just made sure that that everyone had a say in it. So not one person has a say. County judge has as much say as we do, as 4 commissioners do. But that's just the way it is. The county has to be run by more than one person. Thank you.
Well, like I say, the county has always had county rules and regulations they had to go by. Until here the last couple of weeks, nobody really knew how out of compliance it was until we heard over the news and everything. Your court is made up of, like I say, 4 county commissioners and a judge. And they vote one, you know, 4 for and 1 against, you know. I mean, what can you say? I really like to say, when I was on the board, we never had no problem working with the judge or any other department. We, got along well with each other. Every now and then we'd have, you know, disagreement with what someone was doing, but we always come to terms and work together and solve the problem. Like I say, you'll just see the last few weeks, we really didn't realize we had that big of a problem.
What do you see as the most pressing needs for infrastructure or capital projects in precinct 1? Well, a lot of the needs that we have now, I've taken care of those needs. I've talked about modern equipment where we can get more roads done and with less cost to the taxpayers. And the projects, I mean, we get out here every day on the road and we try to make the roads as best we can with what money we have. But like I say, with the new equipment we have, it's just so much better. We can just about double the miles of road we do every year. And like I say, it takes probably half the oil it did, and it's saving you money, and that's an awful good project. Thank you.
Do you think the city of Quitman should have a true loop to reduce large traffic and trailer traffic through downtown? Since I moved here, I'm gonna say absolutely. Because as this county grows, you cannot handle all that traffic in front of that courthouse, I can tell you. And if it doesn't, the businesses that are along there, people trying to back out, will never get out of those. Get a loop around this town. And I don't know, if you stop and think about Dallas and all those overpasses and stuff that they have in Dallas, they just didn't get planned a few years ago. They were planned 40 years ago. They had a plan to see how Dallas was going to expand. Quitman needs that same plan, because you are not going to draw any economic development here with the situation the way it is right now. So yes, there needs to be a loop besides that one little, what is it, 173 loop they call it? I don't really think that's a loop. Thank you.
Okay. When citizens get more effective services at a better rate, if more of the functions were accomplished by contracting with private providers. If we contracted our roads and our needs, we wouldn't be able to pay the contractors. They don't come real cheap. And we just have so much money designated that we can spend. You know, people don't realize what a road costs to build or rebuild. It just, contractors come in a whole lot higher. These boys working down here on the road. Now, I tell you what, I work with a good crew, and out there in that hot summer time and everything, running that little hot equipment, I feel for them. And I was out there with them. I drove truck, backhoe, whatever I was needed to do at the time. I tried to help out, but we were short-handed. And I just don't see contractors coming in and with operating under our, budget. And by the way, while I'm up here, I'm coaching third, fourth grade boys basketball team, and we are 6-0.
Okay, now for closing remarks, Mr. Holland, you want to start?
Okay. I would like to thank you, everyone, for coming out and listening to the candidates tonight. It's an absolute honor to serve as your commissioner. I was asked why. I think I'm the best candidate for this, is why. A boss drives people, a leader coaches them. A boss inspires fear, a leader generates enthusiasm. A boss says I, a leader says we. A boss blames the breakdown, a leader fixes the breakdown. A boss knows how it's done, and a leader shows how it's done. A boss uses people, a leader develops people. A boss takes credit, a leader gives credit. A boss says no, a leader says let's go. This is why I believe I'm the best candidate for Wood County Commissioner. I don't want to be a boss, I want to be a leader in Precinct 1. Folks, I'm a lifetime resident of Wood County. Almost all my family live in Wood County. My wife does family does as well. I love this county and the precinct, and I have my grandchildren go to school here in Wood County. I'm completely dedicated to continue to move forward in my precinct in Wood County. I'm asking you to exercise your most precious rights as a citizen to vote. I respectfully ask you to vote Virgil Jr. Holland in the March 3rd primary. Remember, I'm third on the ballot. Thank you. God bless.
Douglas?
Well, yeah, okay, number one. When I first decided to run for county commissioner, I called my sister, and the first thing she said to me was, "Are you crazy?" And so I had to think about it. You know, when you step into a calling such as this to be a county commissioner, it becomes greater than yourself. It is no longer about me. It's about you, the citizens of Precinct 1. If you have living with passion and with purpose, you will impact lives. And as a former U.S. Marine, I will serve Wood County with valor, courage, and commitment. And that's why I'm going to ask you to let me be your trustee to move Wood County forward. Thank you.
Well, like I say, Junior, I've lived here all my life. My kids was raised here at Yanis. Most of my grandkids go to school at Yanis. Wood County is my home. Always has been, always will be. I'm passionate about it. I went to service and served my country for 2 years. I worked as commissioner for 4 years, and I enjoyed every bit of it. I love working for the county. These people are my neighbors, my friends. Most of them I know by walking up to them and seeing them on the street. Even though it's changed a lot in a few years, but I've got the experience, leadership, and I am not afraid to get out there with my boys, lead them, show them how it ought to be done, or they can even show me if I need to be showed. But like I say, I get out, cut trees off the road, operate equipment with them, drove dump trucks, just whatever needs to be done, and I'm willing to do that again. And I would just really, really appreciate y'all's vote.
Okay, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out today. I encourage you, a little early, if you want to stay and meet the candidates personally, introduce yourselves. I encourage you to do so. Voting reminder, early voting is February 18th through 28th, and the primary election is March 3rd, so everybody be sure and vote. And once again, thank you for your attendance, and thank you to the candidates as well.